How's it, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're just going to talk about recording and the weird things that I've done with recording. Now, someone did ask me, what's the weirdest technique you've used to record something? And of lately, it was drums in a box. Yes, drums in a box. I put this microphone into a plastic box, just a little 10-liter box, okay? In the thought pattern to think maybe it'll capture, more low end, which in a way it kind of did. But it actually captured a lot of high end, which I was not expecting. It captured the cymbals, and the cymbals at the time were very thin crash, so it pierced through the air quite a lot. But besides that, it was also it looked goofy. It really did look goofy. If I walked into a Abbey Road's studio and I saw that, I would kind of just walk out like, nah. But if I'm honest, I think the most ghetto things normally get you the best results, in my opinion. But another topic. I remember when I was still in college, I had to do an assignment for recording a vocalist for a track, and me and my buddies thought it would be, a really good idea to put an overhead mic on a vocalist. I'm not gonna say who the vocalist was in my college and who the friends were, just to protect identity and whatnot. But I think it was mostly me that came up with the bright idea. Let's put a mic on top of the vocalist while she's in a booth, So there was a dynamic mic down here, condenser that was in front of her, more like that, and then put a mic like this over the vocalist, thinking it would create some cool sound. I was thinking like Rick Rubin or some genius or something like that. But no, if I'm completely honest, it did nothing. It just captured her. It was. Oh, and there was a room mic. The room mic was in a corner. Yeah, that mic picked up nothing but. Yeah, don't do that. I'll learn from my mistakes, I'm telling you. One other cool thing I've done is recording drums, but obviously with a microphone in front of an amp. So I routed the amp through the inputs to outputs, so all the inputs of the drums. I just did kick, snare, hi-hat, toms, and a little bit of the overhead, which ultimately, it kind of added the cool effect of distortion or saturation, but it was a very little amount that I pushed through, and then just cranked the gain up on the amp. That allowed me to get, like a cool, really grungy saturation. The amp itself was a line 6. Yeah, I know, not a good amp, but it was very British guitar tone. So that on the drums, obviously I recorded it with a Wharfdale DX5, which is it's a relatively flat mic in a way. I was talking about the frequency curve. It does, I know for a fact, have I think a bit of mids and high mids, just a little bit of a bump. But it's a relatively flattish mic. And I captured that with that, and it honestly really added a nice saturation on the drums. Another cool thing you can do is miking the back of a guitar amp. I learned that from a really good guitarist and guitar teacher. He did lots of big shows and everything, and he said the best way to get a very isolated tone and a lot of low end. Not a lot, but more low end in the guitar, is to just capture the back of it. So you would either face one condenser, like a pencil condenser, facing the back of the cone. And I mean, you can also try other things like outside of it, just with a fancy thing like a U47 or that sort of thing. But it really helps with getting that, that chuggy sound, or even blending it into the normal track. Oh, and one other cool technique I've done was taking a mic. It was to get a sound effect for Foley, for a sample pack I'm creating. It's going to be released on the website once the website is up and running and store is finished, so you can download it and whatnot. But anyway, to get one of the sound effects, I took a mic, and on my monitors for the studio, feedback. I just let feedback happen, but not on the tweeter, because there's quite a big gap. There's about an inch gap. Okay, and I would get the mic just in front of the actual middle cone, pretty much in the cone, and then just start doing this, like, and then I wait till make a noise and get the feedback going, salute. And then once I've done that, I'll just, so it's like a whooshing effect, just, yeah. And you have to figure things out, weird things. You have to do crazy stuff sometimes just to get a nice result. I will recommend doing that. Okay, and that's about it for today. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe, follow all the channels and whatnot on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch. The Discord is up, so you can join the community there and chat and cause some havoc. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.